Okay, as I said, welcome again to to our health show. We're talking about remedies from heaven. This is season 4, and we're going to jump right into it. And we're going to show you a few slides as an introduction and let you know in terms of what's coming up. And also, last week we were doing what were we doing last week, Sharon?
Well, it might have been last week. I think it was the week before, but I did a
Okay.
presentation on the benefits of seeds and set a challenge as well. So I don't know if anybody did the challenge.
Has anybody done the challenge?
I'll just remind people, it was for those who have never tried it before, or even if you have tried it, to try some moringa. That was one of them. Try eating the moringa seed and saying what you thought of it. And the other thing was, or even just to have the powder. And the other thing was to try doing the slaps recipe, which was, I'm not going to tell you. Maybe there's someone on there who remembers what the recipe is. And if you can let us know if you did it. If you ground those seeds and added them to your whatever it was, your smoothie, your cereals, your porridge, whatever. Is there anyone who can remember what SLAP stands for?
S for sunflower, L for linseed, almond, and pumpkin seed.
And one more.
Sesame, is it?
Yes, who was that? Was that you, Dolores?
It is.
Oh man, you know what? I'm feeling jealous. You're gonna get a prize. Message me with your phone number, and then we'll communicate, and I'll get your address and I'll send you something. Well done. Brilliant. And did you try it?
I didn't get to try it as I like, but I like seeded bread and stuff, and I generally tend to put like pumpkin seed, sunflower seed in there, and a bit of sesame sometimes. So I had some of it, but unfortunately I've run out of almonds.
Yeah, I ran out of almonds. I thought I had some. So what I did was I used cashew instead. I used a nut, or yeah, I think I used another nut instead of the almonds. And then I couldn't make it form an acronym because it couldn't spell it. Yeah. And there's a couple of comments there's a comment in the chat, but well done for remembering what it is, Dolores. So yeah, if you message me with your number, then I will I'll gift you, I think I'll give you a orange essential oil or something like that, wild orange. Okay, Malvia says, I do not like the taste of moringa at all. I know. I tried the seeds and the ground version. The ground, yeah, don't like it at all. Okay, well, if you put it in your smoothies and that, it definitely thickens it up. It's good for fiber and many other things it's great for. So boys, please. So it's great for many other things. Yeah, the taste of the seed is weird, but hey, it's not all about the taste. It's interesting. I say it's weird. Some people probably like it, but anyway. Yeah, I digress. So yeah, so well done for remembering that, Dolores. I don't know if anybody else tried it. No? Okay.
No, I meant to, but I forgot.
That's all right, Cindy. You can always do it again. Okay, Edgar.
Hey, thank you for that. So let's carry on. Okay. Okay, this is going to be the let's talk. This is what we're doing today. And basically I'm gonna do a little presentation, and then we're gonna talk about some things that you can do. So it's kind of interactive. So we'll see what happens with that. Chan, can you do the disclaimer?
Absolutely. Only a professional health practitioner can diagnose or treat medical conditions. Any information discussed on the True Temperance International Family Health Show is for educational and informational purposes only. Please continue to seek professional medical advice from your GP or health practitioner regarding any disease that you may be suffering from.
Would you like to speak to this as well, Sharon?
Okay. Right, so you are invited. I'm sure everybody on here knows about this now, but if there is somebody who doesn't, I'm just letting you know, we did a health conference. This was TTI with AHR, Association of Health Reformers, along with other ministries involved, other UK global ministries, UK ministries, medical missionary ministries. We ran a health conference with workshops and treatment sessions, treatment rooms, consultations, devotionals, exercise class, cooking demos, all sorts of things we did. We had a anointing service. We had Barbara O'Neill come over well, I think she came over from America at the time when she came to us.
Do you want to talk to the photos?
Okay, all right then.
You might
Basically what I'm saying is we had a good time, and it was a opportunity to meet, because it was after lockdown, and come together and see each other and encourage each other with the ministry. So we're running another health retreat this year. It's going to be August the 28th to September the 3rd. And this is just giving you a rough kind of a few pictures of what happened last year. So as you can see, we did have a holistic product shop where we had produce that people could get their hands on. So it wasn't just about talking about the things that you could use for natural remedies, but we also had provision of the some of the products. So that's what that picture shows. We can see in there Lucille's with us still, there's the Tuckley twins, and there's some others, myself and a few others. So there we have, meeting friends old and new, people that we didn't know, that we got to know, and people who hadn't seen each other for a long time because of lockdown. Sorry, Nathaniel and Isaac, please. Sorry, Edgar, you might have to talk to them, but anyway. Meeting old friends and new friends, and it was a great opportunity. I think it was my first time actually meeting Barbara O'Neill then, because we'd met on Zoom, but yeah. That was that. And then early morning at 6:15, we would meet to have a little prayer and warm up, and then we would go and do our exercises. So some of it was on the circuit. We were doing circuit training up by the tennis courts, and at other times we were going out for exercise walks. Whatever we did, we had things that people of varying abilities could join in. So we did that before devotion. So it was a nice early start. As I said, well, maybe I didn't say that, but we did cooking demos. We had cooking demos with golden palms. And there's some samples of the food that was prepared, and people were shown how to prepare it. And we should be doing cooking demos again this year. Golden Palm should be in this year providing the food. And as you'll see, there was food provided as well. The accommodation is self-catering, but if you wish to come apart and have a rest a while from the cooking, then those facilities will be available too. On the first poster, it had a picture of some of the workshop presenters, one of which was David Bartholomew, and there you can see he was there last year doing a workshop, and people were very, very interested in all the workshops. So they were taking notes, being very actively engaged, and he even had a treatment session as well. So that's the physiotherapy presentation. We had two essential oils classes, and they were very popular. So backed by popular demand, they will be on again this year, and that will be structured into our workshop schedule. It was outside of the schedule last time because it came as an extra, but this time round it will be in the schedule. So as you can see, people were trying it out. It was practical as well as theoretical. There's a sample of some of the food that was provided for the on-site catering. So as you can see, there's some lovely colors there. We've got reds, greens, we've got dark olives and green olives, and some raw food and some cooked food. So, and yeah, there's more offers of the cooking demo. And there you can see a group of us, we'd run outside for some lovely fresh air. And that was a difficult walk, but it was enjoyable. You know, sometimes you have to work hard, and when you work hard, you appreciate the benefits, and the benefits were definitely there for us. The views as well as the exercise. So if you would like more information about the workshop, please contact AH Reformers, Association of Health Reformers. There's an email there at gmail.com, or TT International, that's us, TTI 777@gmail.com. And there's 2 phone numbers as well. So if you wish, you can call one of those phone numbers. They're UK numbers. So +44 7733 787 or +44 776 392 550. If there's no answer, feel free to leave a message and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So come and part and rest a while 2023, revive, rejuvenate and reform. And as our theme is remedies from heaven, this session, we're inviting you to rest, come apart and rest a while. That's one of the remedies. We have a website, ttinternational.org. Feel free to come on there. You can also get access to the booking form. But on the original slide the first slide that we showed you, there is also a QR code. So you can always scan the code. I don't know if you want to bring that back up, Edgar, if anyone wants to take a screenshot. You can scan the code and get access to the application form or application information from that one. So if you go back to the slide that shows the poster for Kefenly. That one, yeah. So if anyone wants to take a screenshot of that one, feel free. And then obviously you'll need another device to scan that QR code. Book as soon as possible to avoid disappointment. Yes, we there's a limit to the type of accommodation we have. We have caravans. I don't think they're all booked up yet. We have caravans, we have ensuite accommodation, so ensuite cabins. We have standard cabins, and we have a bungalow. All the rooms are comfortable, warm. The cabins and the bungalow, there are bunk beds in those, but if you can't climb up on the top bunk, there's always the bottom bunk. And if you can book with a group of friends, that would be great, because the rooms, we have a minimum of 4, booking of 4. So obviously if there's only 2 of you, then you'll be covering the supplement to secure the room. A minimum of 4. Some of the rooms hold 5, some of the rooms hold 6, the en-suites, if you've got a large family. But if there's just a few of you and you're able to access the bungalow, I think there's going to be mostly women in there. If you can have a smaller group and you can book early, you may be able to get into the bungalow, and some of them are just 3 in a room. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. If you're not sure, just feel free to call any of the numbers for further clarification. That was on the last slide that we were on. I'm being joined by, Blackbird.
Okay, it seems as though Sharon is gone. So this is the last slide. So this is just to promote that we have uh, different groups for different genders and also a spiritual group. So if you're interested in health from a women's point of view, and women want to talk um, separately or men the same way, you've got different groups for different genders. And then also the third group that we have, which is the spiritual health group, which they meet on a Friday. And if you want to get spiritual health and or spiritual encouragement, there's that. If you tap the addresses down, you can help yourself and speak to somebody about joining the groups. And that's it for our advert. And we're going to go straight to the presentation. Sharon has done the disclosure, and so we can carry on. Just give me a moment as I load up the presentation.
Hello, sorry, Edgar.
Hello.
Sorry, I just got cut off. Hi everybody again. Just before you go into the presentation, Charlene is available now. So I don't know if you want to put it on YouTube or.
No, I'm going to leave it. It's okay.
Okay, all right then.
Sharon, just come to me just for a moment.
Sure. You might want to move the slide though, because I'm not giving this talk.
Say again?
You might want to move the slide to the next page because I'm not giving the talk.
What do you mean?
Advance the slide by one.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Just give me one moment, everybody. I just want to change the setting. So just give me one moment. I won't be a moment. Sorry about this. Just give me a moment.
Is it this one?
Mm-hmm.
And then you need to go back into Zoom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Charlene. Hi, Charlene. Yeah? Yeah. It's fine. He said to leave it. Okay, all right. You're just trying to do the technical. Okay.
Right, sorry, my my apologies for the delay. As you can see, the presentation, it's going to be a short and sweet presentation. We're talking about hydrotherapy, or we're talking about water, the blessings and benefits of water.
And then you're going to go.
Okay, yes. So we're going to talk a little bit on water, and then we're going to talk about some natural therapies. So I'm just waiting for. So let's begin. Okay, can everybody see my slide?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Hydrotherapy or water. That's the focus of what we're focusing on today for this part, and then we're going to go into another part in a minute. Lovely, cool water. Now, water. Everybody needs water. Everybody needs water. Now, the body needs 8 to 10 glasses of water. But if you want to know the correct amount of water that you need to do your weight, your height, and actually put in an exact measurement to get exactly what the amount of water that you should have. But however, even on an unscientific type of measurement, if your wee is dark, then you're probably not having enough water. Normally, when you wee, it should just like be a light tinge, something like that. But as a rule of thumb, we're talking about 8 to 10 glasses. Yeah. Water can come in 3 different what do you call it? Not solutions, states. It can come in 3 different states. It can be ice, it can be liquid, and it can be steam. And all of those things can be used as a blessing for us as a person. You can use them as treatments. You can use them where the person's having problems. Um, I mean, I would say that the Romans had a good idea of the blessings of water, the Roman baths and so on. This was something that they would do on a regular basis, and it was something that's part of their culture because they could see that there's quite a lot of benefits of using water. And Jesus used water, and it's in the Bible quite a lot of using things to help people. And if you look at the scriptures there, the different remedies, and water is definitely one of the things that he did. But he matched it with other things like prayer, oil, touch, and even using clay to help people, and of course the word of God. Okay, water can be used to help if you have a headache. Yeah. And it can be that you have congestion. You can have congestion in different places. You can have congestion in your head, but you can also have it in different places. And you can use water to reduce the congestion, to reduce the pain, get things flowing again. And so you can put water in terms of where the congestion is on the head. But you can also have like a foot bath where you put your feet in warm water, and then you can put like something cool on your head, and that will actually get whatever's congested, get it flowing again. As I said, a hot foot bath. And I think you'll find that the water is soothing, so it will help you. Now remember, the body is made up of is it 70% of water? I believe it's something like 75% of water is in the body, and even the organs consist of a lot of water. I believe that the brain is full of water. I think it might be 60 or 70% of the brain is water. So you can see that water is paramount to your health. It's paramount. And it's funny because a lot of people don't drink water. And take for example the earth. The earth is full of water. I think the earth is maybe 75% or something like that. So you can imagine if we were to take the water away, it's just not going to work. We need water. And also the water helps the blood flow. Where doesn't the blood go? The blood goes everywhere. It goes everywhere, and that's where you can have congestion because the blood is not flowing freely, or nerves may be damaged, and that's where you're having a problem, and that's also where you're having the pain. So you can see from this picture, this person is using a therapy where the feet is in the water, and because of balance, what they're doing is the person's laying down. They're laying down and their feet is in the water to try and get that circulation going. This is a treatment that's been done at the Light Institute, and it's something that can be used. It doesn't matter where you are. This sort of treatment can be very, very beneficial. Very, very beneficial. Okay, one of the 3 different types of is it solids? Not solids. States. Yeah. The next one is steam, and I use this one when I've got a cold or when I've got a bad chest. To be quite honest, I'm actually not feeling very well at the moment, and this sort of treatment can be very, very useful, especially if you mix it with like mental crystals or a herb. Like, for example, give me a herb, Sharon. What herb can we use for inhalation?
Well, I would use perhaps a citrus oil. So I could use like lemon peel or grapefruit peel or orange peel, or put one of the oils in from the citrus rind. You could use eucalyptus, but again, it's going to be the oil of eucalyptus. You could use peppermint, sorry, oil, tea tree oil. You can use a range of different herb oils from the herbs, the essential oils from the leaves.
Thank you. And I think that this treatment is a wonderful treatment. Basically, you get boiling water, you get a towel, put the towel over your head, make the water nice and hot, and you just start breathing. Some might say it's a little bit strong, depending on how much menthol or other oils that you put in it, but it really does have a wonderful effect in terms of getting into your system. And remember, your nose, your ears, your eyes, they're all connected. So when you do this treatment, and your head, because obviously that's where you're going to have congestion in your head. And so this is a wonderful treatment to actually give you relief and clear whatever is clogging you up. Okay, so another one is not steam, but the water itself, and contrast showers. Has anybody on this platform, has anybody tried a contrast shower? If you just unmute and tell me, have you tried it? Anybody?
I have.
How
It's
did you
been
get on?
brilliant. I've been doing it from the time that I started way back with yourselves and you talked about contrast showers. I've been doing it ever since, and it's been absolutely brilliant. I can't come out the shower without doing it.
Okay, so how did you feel the benefits? Did you feel a benefit? Could you notice the difference when not doing one and when you do one?
I think I notice a difference now in comparison to when I used to not do it. Yeah, because at least I feel as though my pores now are shut rather than when I used to step out of the shower without doing it and all my pores were open to the elements. You know, so I'm feeling that my immunity system will probably be better. It could be better, I still think, but I think it's much better than it probably was
Okay,
before I started.
thank you for that. Now, another thing that you can use a contrast shower for, as well as like colds and so on, but you can also use it for pain. So you kind of, really making the water as cold as you can, and then you're heating it up. You're obviously the heat is more, you use the heat more, the cold less. So it might be 3 to 1. You know what I mean? And you keep changing. But for colds, I think it's absolutely brilliant. Okay. What does it do to help? It increases your blood circulation. It helps the blood get through your vessels. It relieves congestion and blockage. It helps to activate your oxygen and helps nutrition through your cells. And it helps to get rid of the waste. And that's another important point, because the waste, if the waste is sluggish, it's going to make things slow down, and it's probably going to create more pain. Yeah. And the contrast shower, I said it helps with your white blood cells, so it's really going to help with your immunity. It helps quick healing the treated area. It helps with infections. It can help your muscles and your cartilage, and it's good for edema and headaches. Is that right, edema? I think so, and headaches.
Yeah.
Okay, ice. It's a cold, uncomfortable feeling. Some people, oh, that's a bit cold. But I think when you have pain, ice, because of the pain, you don't feel the coldness of the ice. And the same with burns and stings. You kind of that I don't know. I don't know if you'd say that ice kind of neutralizes the pain. I don't know if you agree with me. But
Well,
sorry, go on.
a couple of weeks ago, when it was my daughter's birthday, we went to a sauna, and there was a range of things there. There was the steam room, the sauna. There was the pool, and then they had. I've never tried this before, but it's what they call the plunge pool. I've been in an ice room before where you put ice on and then you go back into the sauna or something like that. So you get the contrast. But I'd never tried the plunge pool before. It is really, really cold. And you go in there, you can go in up to your neck. So I braved it and went in up to my neck. And then I came out of the plunge pool and went into the jacuzzi. And so that was like you're hot and cold. Well, when I went into the jacuzzi, I got this really weird feeling in my under my skin. It was like prickly, really prickly feeling. So that's why it says like the burning or the stinging sensations of being in the cold and then going into the hot. And I was told that if you have niacin, you get that kind of feeling. Now I tried the
Yes, you
niacin
do.
and it didn't
Yeah,
do
you do.
anything to me. Maybe my blood was so sluggish at the time. But when I experienced that, I thought, wow, this is just phenomenal. So I think that's the kind of effect that the ice massage would have after having that. The kind of that sensation is so unusual. Well, it was for me. I'd forgotten how cold I was in the plunge pool, and it was hard work getting me in that plunge pool.
Okay.
But yes,
All right.
but yeah, and it was good after it was good. It was amazing afterwards.
Good. That's good.
Really good.
So it reduces pain, inflammation, convulsions, acute spasms of the neck muscles, pain in the neck, backs and joints. I think you can use some of these different things and have a really, really good result as a therapy. You know, and you can, and not only that, you can combine it with other things. So, say for example, you had a therapy and then you combined it with massage. I remember massage is you're just manipulating the body and the muscles and so on and so on. And I think that doing a therapy where you use these sort of things, I think it can be very beneficial. I think that a lot of people say that when they have a massage, that sometimes they fall asleep before the massage is finished because that movement is so relaxing and it just helps your system be more productive, that it just relaxes you. And I've had a massage and I thought, wow, I would never fall asleep. And then when I had the massage, I thought, wow, I almost fell asleep because it's so therapeutic. But that's what ice can do. That's what ice can do, and the other things as well. Okay, this is what Ministry of Healing says. I think it might be medical missionary. I think water treatments wisely and skillfully given may may be a means of saving many lives. That is a statement. That is a statement. So you can say that and put the reverse on it. So the reverse on it is what? What's the reverse, somebody? Don't be shy. What's the reverse of that statement?
Saving lives by giving water treatment.
Again.
Sorry, Edgar, Jasmine unmuted whilst I was talking. We'll be saving lives by giving water treatments. Is that what you mean?
No, what I'm saying is, this is saying that by giving the treatment, many lives will be saved. So I said the reverse of that is what?
If you don't.
Withholding the water treatment will result in losing many lives.
Many lives, that's right.
Thank you very much. To the top of the class. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, look, if this is a blessing and it's accessible, think about it. Imagine if there was no water. Life wouldn't exist. Now, God in his wisdom has given us water so we can use all these different things. And then he said, well, you know what? Not only can you use it as a benefit, but you can use it as a treatment. If you even, I mean, a lot of English people, they love their cup of tea, isn't it? How could you have a cup of tea without water? You can't, it's not going to work, is it? So I'm saying God is giving us this as a blessing. And then he's kind of support it again by saying, look, you know, if you use it, it can be a blessing to so many people. So I'm saying reverse that. If we don't use it, it could well be that we have a problem. Remember also, the things that God has given is given for our well-being, good health, and to, you know, to give us life. And the title of the this actual session is saying that things, you know, things could get worse, and God is giving us now a chance to learn these things and to put some of these therapies into practice to help us, one, to know Him, and two, that we can help ourselves and help others. Sharon.
Thank you for that, Edgar. One of the things that was on the previous slide was also saying water treatments, if wisely given, I think it's carefully and wisely given or something like that, can be a means for saving many lives. But if we abuse the treatments or don't use it correctly, you can also create problems. So you got to know how you use it. Like, for instance, I think it was Cindy who was saying, when she has her contrast showers and finishes with the cold, it closes the pores. And so normally when you finish a shower and you've got a hot shower, you're coming out of that room, the bathroom, with your pores open. And so if you did that and then you went into a cold place, but it wasn't part of a treatment, you just went into a cold place with your pores open, you could leave yourself open to having sickness. But by doing it skillfully and wisely, that's what it said, skillfully and wisely used, it can help to save many lives. But thank you everybody for your.
All right, thank you. That's the end of the presentation, the wonder of water. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I hope you've not learned something, because I think that we know that water is a blessing. But the other side to it is, although we know water is a blessing and we know that we should drink it, a lot of times people don't. I'm talking to myself as well. You know, you say, oh, it's 10 glasses. And it might be that you're so busy throughout the day, doing this, doing that, sorting out the children, and you got work to do, and you got your clothes to sort out, and this and that, and you got cooking to do, that you just don't drink. And then you come to the end of the day, it's like maybe 8 o'clock, and you think, wow, I've only had 1 glass or 1.5 glasses. And you know that you should be having like 8 or like 10. And you think, you know, so I think that we know what we should do, but that doesn't mean we do it. Do you agree with me? I don't know.
Definitely.
We can know
Definitely.
what we should do, but we don't do it.
And I think also you may help others to do it as well. I'm sure there'll be somebody on here who does like medical missionary work, and you're encouraging others to drink their water. You may be busy because you've got quite a few clients or health guests, and you're trying to get all the work done. And you know, you've made sure they've had their required amount because it's all written down. They've got their charts for what they need to drink, and you give it to them. And if the time comes and they need to have some more, you go around, you say, okay, you've got to drink some more. And meanwhile, you're doing what it says in the chat. I'm always parched at 9 p.m. and I have to drink. And that's quite late because it's just before you go into bed. That was Cindy. Just before you go into bed, and you're gonna have to drink then, and you know it's not necessarily the best time. So if you try and stretch it out across the day,
But can I just put in? I think that thanks, Cindy, for that comment, because I think that's brilliant, and I think you're being honest. I think it's wonderful, and the thing is, you then kind of drink late. You say, you know what, I've got to play catch up. So you have loads of water, and it's like 9 o'clock, and then it disturbs your sleep because you've had too much water. So then you have to start getting up to go to the bathroom, and then you get up in the morning and say, boy, I'm tired, you know. And why are you tired? Because you're drinking late. So it's like it can be like a cycle. I've done it. Well, I said, you know what? Wow, I've been so busy. I've just not been able to drink. And so I said, you know what? I'm gonna have a drink. And I have a drink. And then I get up once, I get up twice, I get up 3 times. I think, no, man, I can't be doing this. You know what I mean? I can't be doing this. And it's because that cycle that you need for the water there's too much space. So some would say that you should have a I don't know, a big bottle of water, and you just keep drinking as you're going along. And the other thing as well is, and this is another important point, where somebody did a presentation on water, and they said you're drinking too much water at one time, and so you have like 2 or 3 glasses at one time, and they say, well, if your glass is full and you put more water on top of the glass that's full, what's going to happen? Anybody, what's going to happen? If you got a glass and it's full and you pour more water on top of it, it's just going to overflow. So you think, oh, you know what? I'm having 3 glasses so I can up my water intake. But no, you haven't done that at all, because you can only have so much water. And then after that, your body's not assimilating it because the glass is full. So then you just run into the toilet to get rid of that water because the glass is full. So I think we have to be wise about how we do it. It makes sense to have water in sips, or you know what I mean? So you're having a reasonable amount over time and not trying to put it all together in one go.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then I know Michelle Chamberlain, you make me laugh, but yeah, it is so true. And one of the things I do with my patients, if I'm at work and I'm encouraging them to drink in between, like we'll be doing tests, and in between tests we can see they're getting tired or they need a break, give them some water. I always make sure I get some, even if they say no, they don't want any. I'll say, okay, well, it's my cue to go and get some anyway. So you have to just try and schedule it in so that you've got enough for yourself as well to work. Like if you're on an airplane and they say put your life jacket on first and then see to the younger clients, the child beside you. We've got to look after ourselves as well. I'm not saying that we're more important, but if we neglect ourselves, then who's going to care for? So but yeah, there's a couple of comments in the chat.
Okay, let's hear the comments.
Yeah, and the other thing to help you is to put some salt in the water as well, a little pinch of pink Himalayan salt or Celtic salt in your water. That will help your body cells to absorb the water because it wants the magnesium in the salts. So it will just take and hold the water. So Michelle says yes, she agrees that sometimes you do forget to drink. Cindy says she's always parched. Michelle says you know that. Cindy says out in the community I forget, and I have to map where I can go to use the ladies' toilets. I don't like using the clients' toilets, only sometimes, but not too often. I hear you on that one, definitely. And Michelle says, I'm going now to get some water right now.
That's right. That's good. That's what I want to hear.
And I hope you've got your water, Edgar, because I've just had a cup just before I came out.
Well, you know what? It's funny you should say that because my mouth is feeling dry. So
I think
maybe I should get some water.
I can hold the fort for you if you want to get some water now, and then just ask people about remedies, natural remedies that they have.
Well, in fact, that's where we're going right now. So the last part of this session is going to be based on natural remedies. So Sharon, if you want to fire away, I'm going to get
Okay.
some water and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, there is another comment in the chat though. I have a problem drinking water. I have to go 5, 6, 7 times a day. Not drinking water. When I do drink it, I have to. Oh, maybe she means 5, 6, 7 hours a day not drinking water. When I do, I have to move into the toilet. Okay, yeah. So it's about knowing how to drink it. So yes, we know what to drink, how much to drink. But when and how to drink it. So obviously you're not going to drink just before bed, not going to glug it all down and take gulps, big gulps. You want to take maybe a cup or two at a time. And then, like I said, add a tiny pinch of pink Himalayan salt or Celtic salt in there. And that will help your body to absorb the water. So it doesn't just run straight out. I don't always remember to put salt in my water. If you're having natural mineral water, I don't mean mineral water from the bottle, but from the spring, then it would have the minerals in it. That's why it's called mineral water. But what we have as mineral water from the bottles often doesn't have much minerals in it. But yeah, so the initial slide was saying, in terms of natural remedies, what natural remedies do you know and have you put in practice? And if you could share with us, because we're all learning together about these remedies, because we know that, yeah, COVID happened and some people use natural remedies and some people use alternatives. But that was one pandemic. We know that in these last days, there's going to be more and more sickness coming upon people in large scale. So this is where there's a great need for this kind of work with natural remedies, a great need for medical missionaries. There's going to be plenty of work. We know that some of the hospitals just cannot cope with the workload using conventional, because the only puts a patch on it doesn't you know give you some. For some things, obviously, for some things it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, but for some things it's just delaying or creating more problems with pharmaceuticals, etc. So what natural remedies? This is why we said let's talk. We want you to unmute your mic. If you're able to put your cameras on so we can see when you're talking, that would be even better. But if you can't, that's understandable. You might be in your beds and you don't want to put your camera on. And whilst we're not on YouTube live, sorry about that, guys, we've had a technical problem today, but it's still being recorded. So yeah, so if anybody has any remedies, feel free. This is a time for you to share. It could be that you're sat in your garden and you're looking at your dandelion and thinking, boy, this thing needs weeding. But it's natural remedies that can be used to help with many conditions. So let's hear what you have to say. I thought you was going to get your water, Edgar.
Yeah, I am. In a bit.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to need some water after all that talking. Right. So there's another comment in the chat, though. I don't know if there's any of the other TTI team would like to come on and just assist with some of these comments. But Michelle, did you want to say? You can speak. You can say what you were saying.
To me?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you read your comment, you can clarify it as well, and it's good to hear another
Okay,
voice.
yeah. I was just saying that because we're talking about drinking water. Also, I think some people are mentioning about going to the toilet. So I'll just mention that sometimes we hold our urine so long that throughout the day it stretches your bladder. So it makes you unable to hold your urine so much. So that's something to think about. And also sometimes when we can do bladder exercises to strengthen the muscle, so that can allow us to hold the urine more. Because some people are scared to drink water because they're not sure if they can hold it or they might need the toilet often. So sometimes we can do exercises to strengthen our bladder and in that way so that we can hold it and not be so worried about having to go to the toilet so much or incontinence or whatever.
Can I just comment with that, because I think this is a good one as well, because some people hold going to the toilet, probably sometimes because they don't like the toilet that's there, and sometimes they just hold it for a long period. And then when it comes to them going to the bathroom, it's like they're dancing before they get on the toilet, because it's so intense because they've left it to the last minute. And I think that that is it's a bad practice, where you do it so it's that bad that you have to start dancing before you use the toilet. You know, I don't know if anybody else has got a comment on that, but I just think that sometimes, you know, you hold your urine too long.
Okay, I was going to take up the point that is now in the chat, the question with regards to what Michelle was saying about the bladder exercises to help.
Go ahead.
Which is the pelvic floor exercises. So, I mean, I could talk on that, but I don't know if Michelle, if you wanted to say something about the pelvic floor exercises.
I think I'll let you elaborate, but I think it's to do with like
No, you go ahead.
you won't know more how to
That's
say
right.
it, but it's to do with
That's
pulling
right,
your
Paul.
bladder upwards, bladder muscle like inwards and outwards. But I'll let you do that one.
It's just like, you know, if you were to go to the toilet and you stopped mid-flow, you'd have to contract certain muscles. You could practice that. I mean, I'm doing that now while as we're talking. I'm not going to the toilet, don't worry. But you can practice as if you were about to stop mid-flow and then release. So you do that and hold it for like maybe 4 seconds and then release. And those are the exercises that you would use to strengthen your pelvic floor muscles. I'm not sure if there's any other exercises that you would do to help with the strength of your bladder. So if there are any more, please feel free to unmute and put it in the chat.
We can hardly hear you, Sharon.
Oh no, sorry. Could you hear me? Can you? Oh, I don't
You're
know
very
what's the
soft.
problem.
That's all.
Is that any different?
Yeah,
Is that
that's better.
Oh, it's because I had a phone call and it made my volume go down really quietly. But thank you for letting me know. Was that Audrey? Marilyn? Whoever it was, thank you. So did you hear what I said about the pelvic floor exercises?
Yes, Sharon.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, so I don't know if there's anybody else who knows any more bladder exercise maneuvers. If so, feel free to unmute. There's a couple more comments in the chat. I hope that answers your question, Laurie.
I think you have explained it very well, Sharon. The Kegels exercises, where you go, it's just the same as you're sitting on the toilet and you let go of the water, then hold it back. And that motion of holding back pulls up the muscles of the pelvic floor. And that's a brilliant exercise, Kegels exercises. Thank you.
No, I didn't know. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't know that's what it was called. You can even do this if, like, for instance, if you catch public transport and you're waiting for the bus and you're thinking, okay, let me try and do 5 of these before the bus comes. And you just, or it could be as you're driving and the traffic lights change to red. So you think, okay, let me try and fit 5 of these in while it's on red. There's so many, you can do it when you're in conversation with somebody. If that's the only time you remember, you try and still focus on what they're talking about. So probably that's not the best time. But there's different times in the days when you can fit that in. If you think, okay, I forget, the only time I remember is if I'm brushing my teeth. So then do it while you're brushing your teeth. Whenever it is that you can routinely do it, and it becomes part of your exercises, and it's one that doesn't cause you to sweat. So yeah, so there's quite a few comments in the chat. Right, let me just go back.
I'm gonna stop you there, for the sake of time, because I think we've got, maybe another 20 minutes, and then we're gonna have to wrap up. But I want to just ask some quick fire questions. I'm not going to give you the answer. I just want the audience or our family to just come up with some answers for things that they would say to other people if they had problems, and in terms of remedies, things that you would find outside. Can be herbs, it might be things that you have in your cupboard. What would you use to help? I know there's a comment that's been in the chat, and maybe you can answer that. But while you're answering that, Sharon, I'm just going to pose a question that I want others to think about, that they could use. So, for example, if somebody came to you and said, Audrey, or who else? Cindy, or who else? Michelle, I am suffering with depression. I've got depression quite bad, and maybe not to the point where you say I feel like killing myself, because that's like ultimate extreme. But I just feel down. What would you suggest that they could use to help them? And this is to everybody. As I said, this is like, there's different things that you can use for different things. So I'm just throwing it out there. This is to help everybody and to help somebody who you might come across and they say to you, you know what, I'm having this situation. What do you suggest? So I'm just throwing that out there. You're struggling with depression. What would you suggest that they do?
One of the things people can do is exercise.
Okay.
That's in conjunction with other things, but that's one.
That's
With
one exercise. Okay.
Yeah, it improves your mood. It builds natural mood chemicals in your body when you're exercising. So some people would not think of exercise, but a doctor sometimes do recommend that you do more exercise to produce those chemicals in your body.
Thank you, Michelle.
Michelle has mentioned a very good idea there, that exercise is good. One of the other things that exercise does is that it increases the buildup of serotonin, which is, if you know that people who are depressed are actually given tablets, serotonin, and that improves your mood. In fact, exercise throws out all the feel-good hormones from the brain, from your gut, from microbiomes. It is a brilliant thing. But all of the 8 laws of life, New Start, which is your nutrition, there are foods that you can eat that also encourage these feel-good hormones to be produced, so that your mood is improved, and it's very good. As your exercise, as we have mentioned, your water, the amount of water you drink, it washes out all the toxins that you have and lifts up your mood as well. New Start, all of the 8 laws of health, if you follow them up. Rest when you sleep well. Sunshine makes you feel so happy, but you're trusting God more than anything. The prayers that we send to God, they help improve our mood. Thank you.
Thank you, Audrey. Do you see anything in the chat, Sharon?
Sorry, yes. I was just trying to answer some questions, some comments. But thank you for that, Audrey. There was a couple of interesting comments, and I haven't got through them all. There was one that was saying, and if I don't get this right, Malvia, maybe you can comment. But she was saying, when I don't drink water, I go to the toilet very often. And the funny thing is, the color of the urine is clear, so it's not like somebody who hasn't drunk a lot of water. And then when this person forces themselves to drink water, they may as well live in the toilet, because they're just on the toilet all the time. That's why they said they may as well move in. And then another person said, sometimes I don't drink enough. I also go to the toilet often as well. And I worry why this is happening and where do I get all this urine from if I've not drank enough? So my comments were, okay, I hear what you're saying now. This is something different. This is where we kind of go back to the disclaimer. So I suggest that you speak with your GP or do more research and possibly go for a private consultation with a medical missionary. So you could do all of the above. GP, do a bit more research and go for a private consultation. I also said that sometimes stress can cause a desire to urinate frequently. Or if you're detoxing, again, that can cause you to urinate quite frequently. And I'm sure there's other reasons as well. Not being a doctor myself, but I'm just going on personal experience as well as what I've heard others say. But I know definitely stress. If you say, for instance, you've got to preach, all of a sudden, you know, lesson studies finished, and they're just in that break between Sabbath school and divine service, and you have this strong desire to go and use the toilet because you know that you're going to preach soon, and you're like a bit anxious, unless you're not anxious about preaching. Or if you're going to go and sing, or you're going to do something, you've got a presentation to do, all of a sudden you get this strong urge to go to the toilet. And when you go, sometimes there's not much there anyway. But yeah, there's a variety of reasons why you might have a strong, frequent desire to go toilet. So yeah, it is worth speaking to your GP. Don't know if there's any other comments on that. There was a few more. Sonia says it's great to use pelvic floor exercises to build muscles, especially when you're entering the peri and the menopause phases, perimenopause and the menopause. And the suggestion was to try drinking 2 mouthfuls of water every 15 minutes to reduce the frequency of bathroom trips, because you know your body needs the water, but you don't want to be urinating everything you intake. And there's a YouTube, thank you, Michelle, for that. There's a YouTube, so take a screenshot, those of you who are able to take a screenshot of the chat or save the chat. There's a YouTube for exercises on the pelvic or bladder exercises. Charlene says, test your knowledge on what you learned. I'm not sure if that's you or Jasmine.
It was me.
What did you mean by that?
What Edgar is doing at the moment, question and answer. So the things that we've learned is basically questioning what we've learned in terms of the answers to answer it. If that makes any sense.
I think she's.
Not in my.
You look like you're frozen.
No, I wasn't frozen. I was just trying to make sense of it. So test what you've learned.
What Edgar is doing now. So right now we're doing question in terms of what you would use for depression. So we're trying to answer in terms of what herbs and so forth, what we're going to use for depression.
Okay, yeah, it makes total sense to me now. Sorry, it's because I was answering the questions on the chat when Edgar was talking, so I wasn't paying attention. Confession. Vitamin B rich foods. So was Michelle saying that she learned about the vitamin B rich foods?
Was you asking me about the vitamin B stuff?
So, yeah, what was you saying about that?
I was saying, I tried to clarify it below, but I'll read what I wrote below. This was to do with the depression. Vitamin B rich foods are useful for depression, and you should avoid alcohol as it makes you lose water, because it makes you go to the toilet more. And the more that because you go so frequently, you lose vitamins such as vitamin C and B, which will increase depression, basically.
And that's one of the things that's in coffee as well. That's one of the reasons why we shouldn't have coffee, because the high
caffeine has got caffeine in it. Caffeine.
But also the it can make you feel like paranoia. I can't remember which vitamin it depletes. I think it depletes your vitamin B, the coffee.
Okay, I want to get 2 more in if we can before we close. So we're going to go a bit deeper. This is one definitely for the ladies. So I'm going to keep quiet. Somebody says to you, wow, you know what? I'm having a real bad time with menopause. The menopause. What would you suggest? Obviously, you've got, well, obviously, you can see your doctor. And I'm going to keep quiet, but what would you suggest that you would recommend for somebody who's having a hard time with menopause? Okay, Michelle says, eat more leafy green foods. Thank you. Anybody else? What would you suggest? What would you encourage them with? And I mean, obviously it depends on your experience, but obviously, we've done things on this as well. What would you suggest to encourage them?
Phytoestrogens that are found in soya-based products is very good to help women cope with the menopausal symptoms, but also the same as we have already mentioned, all the 8 laws of life, you're exercising at least 150 minutes per week, the eating the right foods, they're all very good for your menopause symptoms. And being positive, looking at the bright side of life, that also helps. Exercising, going out in the sunshine. Why, if you go out into nature itself, look at good things, you are happy, and you produce feel good hormones, and those help you. Look after your microbiome, look after your gut, and to make sure that you produce that serotonin, which makes you feel happy, and also helps with prevention of menopausal symptoms. Thank you.
Thank you, Audrey. Somebody mentioned yam. I don't know who the person that's mentioned it, but would you like to elaborate a little bit? Why yam?
That was Michelle again.
Was it Michelle? I don't know.
No.
It wasn't Michelle. Somebody put in the chat yam, and I'm saying, would you like to elaborate on it, please?
Oh, yeah, that was Mouth. I think she was saying for the phytoestrogens, because that was suggested by Audrey. Maybe I'm mixing people's names up.
Can I mention the fact that the wild yam, it has got something called disogenin, which is a phytoestrogen. So it would act exactly the same as, the tablets that we give to postmenopausal women. It will do exactly the same, relieve you of the anxiety, relieve you of the sweating and all that. But being a natural thing, it takes a while for it to for the relief of symptoms to take effect. So one has to be patient and use yam, regularly, daily, sort of thing, when you can get it.
So what's the difference between wild yam and yam?
I would imagine that they were thinking of yam being a sweet potato, whereas the normal yam that we get from the trees, it's what you call wild yam.
From the trees?
Well, from the roots of the tree, of the wild trees. The truth is, I because I come from a temperate country, I don't know much about yam itself. In my country, we grow sweet potatoes. That's what we call yam. But that's not the yam we're talking about. I'm sure we're talking about the yam that you find, in the normal Asian shops.
Yeah.
That yam, you can get phytoestrogen in it. I know
Yeah.
that is encouraged.
Yeah, it's got the kind of brown skin that you have to chop the brown skin off, and well, you don't have to, but yeah, you chop the brown skin off and you boil the yam or cook it some other way. Yes, there was also, thank you for that. There was also a question in the chat. There's a couple more now. One that was asked to me, and I put it on the Telegram group, but I'm not sure that I don't think we got an answer to it. So if anyone can think of a natural remedy that could be used for abscess under the arm, maybe that's also menopause related. I don't know, but if anyone has heard of a treatment that could be used for abscess under the arm, so in the armpits, I presume.
Abscesses that are under the arm. Goodness, I did this quite some time, well over a year ago now, and I've forgotten what my research led me to. But anyway, abscesses under the arms are indication of low immunity.
Right.
You don't have a good immune system. It's like when you get opportunistic illnesses like colds and so forth. So the most important thing is to increase your immune system, to build up your immune system.
Brilliant.
That is what will help. But the truth is, I'll have to look this one up. I did a talk on it years ago, and I've forgotten exactly what my research was about these abscesses. But hey, they can be improved. But if you don't improve your immune system, you can keep on getting them over and over and over. You can even get them at a younger age of 18 years of age, 12 years of age, and they can keep coming on. And because of stress, when young people go to school, they are stressed out up there, and their immune system is all of a sudden shut down, and that can cause the abscesses under the armpits. But the best thing to do is make sure that your immune system is built up. And the things to do that is look for things that are high in vitamin C, and antioxidants. All the foods that are high in antioxidants, they'll help you. Fruits, mainly, lemons, the citrus fruits, the melons. The melons are quite good. They're very high in kiwi. Fruits are very high in vitamin C, and that can help boost your immune system.
And the moringa.
Absolutely. Hit it right. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. You mentioned that last week or 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, because that boosting the immune system, yes, okay, it will help with the abscesses under the arm, but it will help with so much more as well. So much more. We run out of space if we were going to start filling in the chat, what does the immune system help with? A good immune system. So that's brilliant. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Michelle is asking, can you use charcoal on the abscess?
Yes. Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can actually use a charcoal, because what does charcoal do? It draws out. It'll draw out whatever you have in there.
Yep, definitely absorbs. Someone also said stop using deodorant and use lime.
Brilliant idea.
And another person said get good bacteria in the gut. So work on your gut bacteria. There's so much. Oh, listen, I'm glad. It's good to talk. It's good to talk. So I'll have a lot to come back to this person and tell them. And also, if you get any more information, if you remember any more on your research, Audrey, just drop me a message.
I will. I'll try and look for my presentations. I don't know where they are. They're old. But if I can get that, I'll send to you. I've got your number.
Okay. And maybe we can even get you to present on here, Audrey. That would be wonderful.
I'm not sure that I am that good anymore now.
I'm sure with God you can do all things. I am sure.
Thank you.
Okay, so the last thing I would like to suggest, and you might think, oh, this is like very cliche, is if somebody said to you, I'm struggling with diabetes, there's a lot of diabetes all over the world. You know, there's a lot of diabetes. What would you recommend to somebody who says, look, I've got diabetes, it's not type 1, but it's type 2. What would you recommend I should do? Marvelly says exercise. Someone else said something else. Hang on.
Okay, so Marvia says, yeah.
Cut out the oils. Michelle says, cut out the oils. That's helpful.
Marvia says exercise. Charlene says balance your sugars so you can take moringa. And my 14-year-old said cut out the sugar in it.
Okay, Charlene, give me a bit more on that. You just said cut out the sugars. Give me some more. That's too.
No, I'm saying that's what our teenager said. Cut out the sugar in it. But Charlene did say balance. Charlene did say
There's a few things in the chat.
balance the sugar. Marvia says her Chinese friend, I think it says, cured her diabetes by, there we go. This is what I was looking for, the exercise. And you said that. Cured her diabetes by just walking half an hour a day. And she also changed her diet. Yep. Walking is a great way to metabolize the foods that we're eating. And that way you can balance your sugars, as Charlene said. Eden's Balm says removed refined sugars and meats and dairy. So once we've removed those refined sugars and meats and dairies, what do we replace it with? Because maybe that's all the person eats, refined sugars, meats and dairy. So what then do they have? I would say increased fiber. I'm not sure what anybody else would. Here we go. Thank you. Here's the answer. Add dark greeny leafy. Okay, add dark greens, leafy vegetables, and that would increase your fiber definitely and improve your blood. Dark greens are always great for the blood.
I would potentially ask them kind of what they're eating, because could it be that they eat a lot of carbohydrates? You know, when you look at their diet, you know, they're having, say, I don't know, they're having lots of potatoes and so on, and rice and bread and you know what I mean, and especially like you say, the refined stuff. You know, they have white bread, white rice, white sugar. You know what I mean? And they might have a little bit of greens just to make the plate look alive, but they're having lots and lots of carbohydrates. Maybe. And then when you add to it as well that they might not be drinking enough and then they might not be exercising enough, then you know. Audrey, what else was you going to say?
Yeah, what I would, to start with, I would say to the person, type 2 diabetes is a lifestyle disease, period. 2, it is reversible in 80+% of patients. It doesn't matter how long, the earlier, obviously, the better. But the most important thing is lifestyle. That's why we call it a lifestyle disease. In medical terms, diabetes is called a chronic disease, but it is actually a lifestyle disease. It comes about because the cells refuse to accept your insulin. They become insensitive to insulin. And when you exercise, your cells become sensitive to insulin. So the insulin that you produce, because type 2 diabetes patients, they produce insulin, but it does not work when it reaches the cell. What does insulin do? It unlocks the lock to the cell, the key, it unlocks the key to it's a key that unlocks the cell so that sugar can go into the cell and do its job in the cell. So because it's locked, then your sugar remains in the blood, and there are spikes. And what you mentioned there, that high fiber foods, brilliant, because they stop the sugar from being absorbed into the bloodstream, and therefore making spikes. So one exercise, make sure, I remember Dr. Chidi giving us this talk, that make sure that after food, go for at least 30 minutes walk. 30 minutes exercise. Intermittent fasting, a lot of doctors now are using that, and it helps cure the disease. And as you said, you know, we should be careful of what we eat, less carbohydrates and fat, and animal fat in particular. Animal products are they are acidic and they are inflammatory, and therefore they increase the chances of your diabetes. So therefore, as Dr. Chidi used to say, he would tell his patients, go and try 2 weeks of plant-based diet and see what happens to you. They come back and they're much better. So those are the things I would try.
Very good. I think you should be taking the show, Audrey.
I don't know about that.
Okay, I don't know if there's anything else in the chat, Sharon.
I sent something, Edgar, but Audrey has just said it all, really, about plant-based diet and lifestyle.
Yeah, that's very good. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Marilyn. There's also a comment about oil. Michelle put that one in. She just wanted any clarification if anybody else knows about that. What did she say? She heard that oil can stop insulin passing through a vessel or pathway, which can then make us have more sugar in the blood. I don't know if you can elaborate on that a bit more, Audrey. She says, therefore, it makes us need to cut down on sugar because of the insulin problem being caused by the oil. If that's true, that's one cause. Can anyone clarify if they've heard of this?
In a way, she is right in that the more you eat mainly animal fat, the more you gain weight. And it is the fat that has been found to create that insensitivity of cells to insulin. That is the main reason. However, you know, the plant-based oils, particularly the mono ones like you find in olive oil, etc., are not that bad. They're not that bad. In fact, I would say that they are more helpful in that some of them can actually even help deal with the they can help deal with the cholesterol. You see, you know, if you look at people who suffer from diabetes type 2 tend to have more weight or a higher BMI. And the more fat you take, the more sugar you take, the more BMI you have. And when you have BMI, you have a lot of fat and you store it. And that fat is the one that makes your cells insensitive to insulin. And therefore, your sugar remains in the bloodstream, hence causing that diabetes. She's absolutely right, that oil fat, but it's more animal fat that produces that type of thing. So, but even that, the plant-based oils, we should be careful. We should not overdo things. We should take them at a very small amount, just enough to do what you need to do. Thank you.
Exercise true temperance. Thank you so much, Audrey. And you reminded me of a presentation I heard Hans Deal do when we were doing the microchip, or no, the chip program many years ago.
Microchip.
He spoke about, he spoke about the fats then.
You're right.
I agree. I agree with all that's been said, but I would also say that I think that the fat and sugar are like cousins. So they kind of go hand in hand. If you have a lot of sugar, it causes problems. And if you have a lot of fat, especially if you like frying stuff, again, it just causes a lot of problems.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Anyway, I think we've kind of come to the end of the show, unless anybody's got a burning question to ask us. Sorry?
To add there, Edgar, that I'm glad you mentioned the situation with the sugar. Let's also remember that sugar, cancer loves sugar.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Sugar. So if we cancel the sugar for diabetes, we are hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. Therefore, supporting the diabetes people, and we're supporting the cancer as well, reducing the risks of cancer.
Yes,
Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Audrey, for your wise words.
You're welcome.
We and everybody else that has contributed. Thank you for that. We're going to wrap up. Please remember that all those that are interested in Kefenly in August, we'll be in Wales again. I think it's going to be a wonderful program. Lots of speakers, different therapies, cooking demonstrations. I could go on and on and on, but I'm not, just to say that you need to book if you want to go. And next week, we're going to have another show next week, which is going to be May. It will be May next week, where we're going to have somebody give us a presentation or an interview, being a medical missionary and the blessings and benefits that she's had from being a medical missionary and helping people. So try and make yourself available. That's next week, same time, same place. We should be here, and the poster will come out very soon. Thank you very much for listening and contributing, and have a wonderful week for next week, and we'll see you soon. We're going to leave the platform open a little bit. If people want to say hi and say hi to others, they can do, or if they want to make a comment, you can do. Thanks a lot, and from TTI, we'll see you very, very soon. God bless.
God bless. Thank you very much, Edgar and everyone else.
No problem.
Please, will you send the recording on the TTI Women's app, please?
On the different platforms, where once we've downloaded the recording, we'll share the link so that people can replay it. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be available on YouTube.
Okay, so can it be sent to the recording? Be sent to the app, the TTI.
Sent to the different groups, the WhatsApp group and the Telegram groups. Yeah, definitely the men's and the women's.
Oh, WhatsApp and Telegram. I haven't got it on on WhatsApp. I've got it. The TTI Women's.
Yep, that's right. We'll share it on the women's. We've got 2 women's groups on WhatsApp and 1 on Telegram. 2 men's on WhatsApp and 1 men's on Telegram, plus the spiritual health group. So yeah, there's plenty. We'll share it out to you.
Thank you very much for other people who couldn't get on, as well as myself. Thank you.
Absolutely, Marion. Thank you so much for coming. We know, apologies for the short notice of informing you that there was a show this week, but thank you for all of you who came on. It's been a brilliant discussion. Really appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you.
Say thank you to the TTI team honestly, health is the right hand of, you know, gospel message. And we know that Jesus used that. And what you are doing is wonderful. God bless you. May he really, really give you the ideas, the wisdom, and everything that you do. We thank you very much for your presentations. God bless you. And thank you, Edgar, for your presentation today.
No, thank you. God bless.
Amen.
God be praised.
Yeah. Thank you.
Have a wonderful week.
You too.
No worries.
Edgar,
Hello.
hi. You need to stop the recording.
Oh, yes, you're right.